Thank God they're safe.
12-year-old Noah Carter froze on the riverbank, his bare feet sinking slightly into the wet sand. For a second, his heart stopped. He turned his head toward the sound, his eyes widening. Someone was drowning. The Hudson River usually looked calm from a distance, but Noah knew better. He lived near it. He worked near it. He survived because of it. The river hid strong currents beneath its smooth surface, and once it pulled you in, it didn't care who you were. The scream came again. Help! Please, help me. Noah saw her then. A girl. She was struggling in the water, her arms flailing wildly. Her long hair spread around her like dark smoke. She was clearly not from around here. Her clothes were expensive. Her shoes were gone. Panic was written all over her face. On the road nearby, a luxury black SUV stood with its doors open. Men in suits were shouting. One of them ran along the riverbank, screaming the girl's name. But no one jumped in. The water was deep. Fast. Dangerous. Noah didn't think. He dropped the plastic bucket he had been holding and ran. His heart hammered loudly in his chest as he reached the edge of the river. The cold wind bit his skin, but fear pushed him forward. Then he jumped. The water swallowed him instantly. Cold exploded through his body. The current yanked him under, dragging him sideways. Noah fought to keep his head above water, kicking hard, forcing his arms forward. The girl was going under. No, 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 Noah thought. He swam toward her, his lungs already burning. When he reached her, she grabbed him in panic, almost pulling him down with her. Hold on to me, he shouted. The water rushed into his mouth. The river fought back. It pulled them both under again. Noah's vision blurred. His chest screamed for air. His arms felt weak, but he refused to let go. With every bit of strength left in his small body, he kicked upward, pushing against the current. Suddenly, air. They broke the surface. Noah dragged the girl toward the shore inch by inch until his knees scraped sand. Hands grabbed them. Voices shouted. Someone pulled the girl away. Noah collapsed. The sky spun above him as his body shook violently. His clothes were soaked. His lips were blue. His chest burned with every breath. Through blurry eyes, he saw a man fall to his knees beside the girl, pulling her into his arms. Emily, please talk to me. The man's voice cracked. That was when Noah understood something important. This wasn't just any girl. And his life, poor, invisible, forgotten, was about to change forever. Before that day, nobody noticed Noah Carter. He lived in a small, broken-down apartment on the edge of New York City with his sick grandmother. The walls were thin. The heat barely worked. Some nights, they slept wearing coats. Noah's parents had died in a car accident when he was 7. Since then, life had become a daily struggle. He collected cans, helped people carry groceries, and sometimes fished near the river to earn a few dollars. School was hard. Kids laughed at his torn shoes and old backpack. Teachers worried about him, but didn't know how to help. Still, Noah never complained. That afternoon, he had gone to the river hoping to catch fish to sell at a nearby market. He never imagined he would end the day in an ambulance. When Noah woke up, bright lights hurt his eyes. Easy, sweetheart, a nurse said gently. He was in a hospital. His body ached, and his throat felt raw. As he tried to sit up, panic hit him. My grandma, he whispered. I need to go home. She's safe, another voice said. Noah turned his head. A tall man stood near the bed. He wore an expensive suit, but his eyes were red, and his face looked tired. I'm Daniel Wright, the man said softly. You saved my daughter. Noah swallowed. Is she okay? Daniel nodded. She will be. At that moment, a young girl stepped into the room. She had pale skin, wet hair tied back, and fear still in her eyes. She looked at Noah. Then she walked closer and held his hand. You didn't let me die, she said quietly. Noah didn't know what to say. Daniel Wright, billionaire CEO, powerful man known across America, bent down until his eyes were level with a poor boy who owned nothing. Tears filled Daniel's eyes. And in that moment, something inside him changed. Daniel Wright had faced business wars, court battles, and billion-dollar risks. But nothing shook him like almost losing his daughter. That night, after the hospital became quiet, Daniel sat alone in his office, staring at the city lights. His hands trembled slightly as he replayed the moment again and again. His daughter slipping into the water, the helpless screams, and then a small boy jumping in without fear. A boy who had nothing, yet gave everything. The next morning, Daniel went to see Noah again. Noah was sitting on the hospital bed, swinging his legs slowly. He looked nervous when Daniel entered. "Sir, am I in trouble?" Noah asked quietly. Daniel's chest tightened. "No," he said gently. "You're a hero." Daniel pulled a chair close and sat down so they were eye to eye. "You didn't think about money. You didn't think about danger. You didn't even know who my daughter was," Daniel said. "You just jumped." Noah shrugged slightly. "She needed help." That simple sentence broke Daniel. Tears filled his eyes. "I want to do something for you," Daniel said. "Not as a billionaire, but as a father who owes you his whole world." Daniel didn't hand Noah a stack of cash. He did something far more powerful. He visited Noah's grandmother. He paid for her full medical treatment, doctors, medication, therapy, everything. He replaced their broken apartment with a clean, warm home. He made sure food was always on the table. Then he looked at Noah and said the words Noah never expected to hear. "You will never struggle alone again." Daniel enrolled Noah in a good school. He gave him new clothes, books, and something Noah had never owned before, confidence. But Daniel also gave Noah a choice. "I don't want to buy your silence," Daniel said. "I want to support your future. If you say no, I'll still help you." Noah cried. Nobody had ever given him that kind of respect. Moving into Daniel Wright's world felt unreal to Noah. The house was large, clean, and quiet. Too quiet. The floors shined. The rooms smelled like fresh paint and calm air. At night, Noah lay on the wide bed staring at the ceiling, afraid to move too much, afraid he might break something. Back in his old life, noise was everywhere, sirens, neighbors arguing, buses passing, his grandmother coughing softly in the night. Silence used to mean something was wrong. Here, silence meant safety. And safety felt strange. Daniel noticed the change immediately. Noah barely spoke during the first week. He ate slowly, always asking, "Is it okay if I take this? Or am I allowed to sit here?" He folded his clothes neatly and kept his shoes by the door, ready in case someone told him to leave. One evening, Daniel watched Noah quietly wash his plate after dinner. "You don't have to do that," Daniel said gently. Noah froze. "I'm sorry. I just didn't want to be a problem." Those words hit Daniel hard. He walked closer and knelt beside Noah. "You are not a problem," Daniel said slowly. "You are part of this home." Noah nodded, but his eyes filled with tears. Emily helped in her own way. She showed Noah around the city, shared her favorite books, and introduced him to her friends proudly. "This is Noah," she would say. "He saved my life." At school, some kids whispered. Some stared. A few were cruel. But Noah didn't fight back. Instead, he stayed kind. One day, when a boy mocked Noah's past, Emily stood up and said loudly, "If he hadn't jumped into the river, I wouldn't be here. You should be thanking him." The room went silent. Daniel met regularly with Noah's grandmother, making sure she was healthy and comfortable. He paid for her treatments, hired nurses, and visited her often. But more than that, he listened to her stories about Noah. "He's always been like this," she said softly. "Always helping. Always giving, even when we had nothing." Daniel understood then. Noah wasn't brave because of one moment. He was brave because of who he was. One evening, Daniel found Noah sitting alone by the river again, watching the water move slowly. "Does it still scare you?" Daniel asked. Noah nodded. "Yes. But it also reminds me that my life changed because I didn't turn away." Daniel sat beside him. "You gave me back my daughter," Daniel said. "And without knowing it, you gave me back my heart." That night, Daniel made a decision that went beyond money, schools, or houses. He called Noah into his study. "Noah," Daniel said carefully, "I don't want you to feel like a guest in this life. I want you to feel chosen." Noah's chest tightened. "If you allow it," Daniel continued, voice shaking slightly, "I want to legally take responsibility for you. Not as charity. Not as a favor. But as family." Noah broke down. He cried harder than he ever had. For the first time since his parents died, he wasn't surviving. He was home. Years passed quietly but powerfully. Noah grew taller. His shoulders broadened. His voice deepened. But his heart stayed gentle. He never forgot the boy he once was, the boy collecting cans, fishing by the river, wondering if life would ever get better. Daniel made sure Noah had the best education, tutors, and opportunities. But he also made sure Noah understood something important. "We didn't save you," Daniel often said. "You saved yourself by choosing courage." Noah trained as a rescue swimmer and emergency responder. He learned how to fight strong currents, how to calm panic, how to pull people back from the edge, both in water and in life. Emily supported him every step of the way. "You were born for this," she told him. At 21, Noah was invited to speak at a large public event organized by Daniel's foundation. The room was filled with powerful people, business leaders, journalists, donors, and families helped by the foundation. Noah stood backstage, hands shaking. "I don't belong here," he whispered. Daniel placed a hand on his shoulder. "You belong everywhere," he said. "Because you earned it." When Noah stepped onto the stage, the room grew quiet. He took a deep breath. "I used to believe," Noah began, "that being poor meant being invisible." People leaned forward. "I thought if you had no money, no name, no connections, your life didn't matter." His voice trembled, but he continued. "Then one day I heard a scream, and I jumped into the water. I didn't know who she was. I didn't think about reward. I just knew someone needed help." He paused. That moment didn't just save her life. It showed me my own worth. Noah turned and looked at Daniel and Emily. "This man didn't reward me with money alone," Noah said. "He rewarded me with dignity, with education, with a future. But most importantly, he rewarded me with love." Tears filled Daniel's eyes. Noah faced the crowd again. "If you are listening today and you feel small, forgotten, or powerless, please hear this," Noah said firmly. "Your value is not measured by what you own. It's measured by what you're willing to do for others." The room stood. People clapped. Some cried openly. That day, Noah wasn't seen as a poor boy who got lucky. He was seen as proof that kindness can open doors, that courage can rewrite destiny, and that one good act can change generations. You don't need wealth to matter. You don't need power to be powerful. Sometimes the greatest reward in life comes, not from what you receive, but from the courage you choose when it matters most. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel.